Meeting settings. Oh, there it is.
Good morning, everyone. It is 10:30, and we'll wait a couple minutes after 10:30 to just make sure everybody shows up. If you want to take a look at the group chat, the program is up. I had a request for some upper body stuff, so there's kind of an upper body finisher as well as some pulling motions. I think without having a pull-up bar at home, we're kind of missing on a lot of that really good pulling motion. So we got a couplet of 2 different pulling exercises. It's power hour, so we're going to do some hamstrings and some glute stuff. And we're starting off with a dynamic warm-up. Let me know if you don't see the program. I'll repost it. I know if you come on a little bit late, the program doesn't show up in the chat. So if it's not showing up for you, that's okay. I'll just post it up there multiple times. I'm personally glad the rain finally stopped. I know we needed it, but I was really not looking forward to hosting Power Hour from my living room. So. Is everybody able to see on the group chat the today's workout? So we're starting off with a dynamic warm-up, just kind of loosening up those legs, step back, some arm stuff. We're going to take off with 3 sets of 8 kickstand deadlift on each side, and then 8 curtsy lunges. And I'll go over those, but those are essentially some unilateral movements that target the hamstrings and the glutes. After that, we'll have 8 upright row. And depending on the weight of your either kettlebell or dumbbell, It's either going to be a single arm or both arms at the same time. And I'll demo both of those. And then we have some alternating single arm bent row as well. And then after that, we're gonna do some upper body, some arm stuff. And so we'll have bicep curls, push press, and then a static overhead hold. And those will be timed movements. And so we're just gonna do as many reps as we can for the curls, for the push press. And again, some people may be doing single arm, some may be doing both arms at the same time, just depending on what's the weight that you were able to loan from the gym. All right. All right. Well, looks like we are about 4 minutes after. We're going to go ahead and get started. I have my earbuds in, so if you guys have any questions or you need some additional explanation, just let me know, okay? All right, so our warm-up is going to start with some air squats. So we got 10 air squats. Go ahead and get our feet set up into our squat position. Nice and slow, all the way to the bottom. If you want to hang out there for a couple seconds, kind of challenge that range of motion, let's do that.
You can come in.
So 10 air squats. All right, after that, we have a forward fold into an inchworm. So I'm gonna stand with my feet directly under my hips. I'm just gonna let gravity take me and fold at the hips. Nice and loose. Hang out here for a couple seconds. Once I'm all the way down, I'm gonna slowly walk out to an inchworm, perform a push-up, and then walk my hands back to my feet, trying to keep my legs as straight as possible. And then stand all the way up. So I believe we have 4 of those. So let's get 4 forward folds into an inchworm.
Yeah.
If you guys can make sure you mute your mics, unless you have a question. If you have a question, unmute it and then ask me. But if you don't have any questions, let's unmute our mics, or I'm sorry, let's mute our mics just so everybody else doesn't hear a bunch of background noise and talking and stuff.
Protein shake maybe on the table.
All right, next we have a cross-body deadlift. And so we don't need a tool, we don't need a weight for that. We're just gonna stand, feet under our hips. I'm gonna reach down with my right arm, touch my left foot, rotating my torso, and then come back up, all right? Again, crossing my body, so my left arm will go to my right foot. I'm attempting to keep my back as flat as possible. And we're gonna do 10 alternating cross-body deadlifts.
The hardest one to deal with. Should be right under our wing.
I'm ready, Dr. Are you ready?
All right, let's make sure we mute those mics. Once you guys get all settled, let's mute those mics unless we have some questions, okay? All right, if you're done with those 10 cross-body deadlifts, we have 10 push-ups. 10 push-ups. I'm going to repost today's programming on there again, just in case it's not showing up for some of you guys. Andy, is it showing up for you? The program? Yeah, okay. All right, once you're done with this 10 push-ups, we're going to do that whole circuit one more time. So it's going to be 10 air squats. Let's get those first 5 ones with a little bit of a pause at the bottom, challenging that range of motion. First 5 with a little pause. And then let's get our next 5 with a little bit of some pace to it. Get those knees nice and warm. If you're outside, I don't think it'll be too hard to break a sweat today. It's a little warm, a little muggy. After that, we have 4 of our forward fold into an inchworm. So I'm going to stand with my feet under my hips. I'm going to fold at the hips, just letting gravity take me, getting nice and deep into that forward fold. And from there, I'm just going to walk myself out into my inchworm, do a push-up, and then push myself back, hands to my feet, and stand all the way back up. All right? And we have 4 of those total.
She's supposed to be right next to us.
You can't come this close. Go over there. Go play. He's gonna follow you.
Hey, Max.
Go over there, Max. Are we supposed to be doing push-ups?
All right, if you're done with those forward folds, let's get 10 of our cross-body deadlifts. Again, I'm gonna reach down with my right arm. I'm gonna touch my left foot, back up, and then alternate. Left arm, right foot. Let's get 10 alternating cross-body deadlifts. Really trying to keep that back as flat as possible, getting a nice good hamstring stretch. And when you're done with your alternating cross-body deadlifts, let's get in our 10 push-ups. We'll be done with our warm-up. And then again, we'll take a look at today's programming. We'll field some questions. I'll demo the movements and we'll get down to business. All right, if you are done with the warm-up and you haven't already looked at the programming, it's in the chat. So go ahead and pull up the chat, take a quick look at the programming. The first thing we're starting off with is some posterior chain stuff, some hamstrings and glute work. So we have 3 sets of 8 kickstand deadlifts on each side. And then we have 8 curtsy lunges on each side, and we'll do all 8 on one side and then all 8 on the other. Okay, so let me just demo these movements and then we'll field whatever questions you guys have. Okay, with our kickstand deadlift, I want to stand in a staggered stance, right? So I have my lead foot, my lead leg, which is the one that's doing all of the work. I have my back leg. That's for stability. That's my kickstand. That's keeping me nice and stable. All right. So starting at the top, I'm gonna have a slight bend in my back knee. I have my ball of my foot down. And from here, I'm gonna perform a straight leg deadlift I'm gonna hinge at the hips, allowing that weight to travel straight down. It doesn't have to touch the ground. I really wanna focus on keeping a nice flat back and then coming back up, right? There's a little bit of knee bend. Shouldn't be a whole lot of knee bend, but a little bit of knee bend is just fine. And you should feel it in the hamstring of that lead leg, the leg that's doing all of the work. Again, from the other side, this is what it'll look like. Slight bend in that back knee. That back leg is my kickstand. That's what's keeping me nice and stable. From here, I'm gonna perform a straight leg deadlift. All right, so that is gonna be our kickstand deadlift. After that, we have our curtsy lunges. I'm gonna hold my weight like I would a goblet squat. So I'm gonna hold the weight in this racked position, nice and close to my chest. I'm gonna start with my feet under my hips, and I'm gonna perform a back lunge, but it's gonna be a curtsy lunge where my back leg crosses behind my lead leg. I lunge and back up. Again, the back leg. I knew she was setting me up. My back leg crosses behind my lead leg.
Whatever. So you can be in the middle of our workout too.
And I lunge. All right. From the side. All right. We're going to perform all 8 on one side and then switch sides. So, are there any questions when it comes to the kickstand deadlift or the curtsy lunge before we get started?
Front leg is the one that's doing most of the work. This is literally all your foot is for stability, and then you do.
Hey, Heather and Michael, you guys mute your computer.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Not that I don't want to hear Michael's voice first thing in the morning. That's actually a nice treat for me. But are there any other questions? Are there any questions about these movements? Kind of how this should work? It's 3 sets, 8 kickstand deadlifts all on one side. Perform 8 kickstand deadlifts all on the other side, and then transition to your curtsy lunges. And we're going to do all 8 of them. All 8. On one side. So we really attack that lead leg and then perform all 8 on the other side. If there's no questions, let's go ahead and get started. Little bit of rest in between each set, right? So finish your curtsy lunges, take 60 seconds or so, grab a sip of water, and then let's get back into it, all right? With both of these movements, the leg that's in front, the lead leg, is the one that's doing the work. That leg, you should feel those hamstrings and glutes working. On those single leg deadlifts or those kickstand deadlifts, really focus on keeping that back nice and flat. All right, you're not going to get a lot out of this if you're reaching and compromising your back by getting a lot of curvature in your spine, okay? Very nice, Debbie. Nice, Roberto. Again, once you're done with your first set, grab a sip of water and then get back into it. And with these deadlifts, nice and slow and controlled, all right? You're really gonna get a lot more out of it if that movement is slow and steady, all right? You show lots of control. You're gonna get a whole lot more out of that kickstand deadlift than if you try to just rep it out real fast. Nice, Liz.
Hi, Colin. It's Stefano. I have a question.
Yes.
Does the kettlebell for the deadlifts ends up more in front of the foot that is leading or more on the side?
So if you're using a kettlebell and you're holding it with two hands, it's going to be on the side, right? We don't want that kettlebell traveling out and forward in front of me, because then it's going to be pulling me forward, pulling me onto the ball of my foot, right? So I want that kettlebell to essentially just go straight down. So from this starting position, that kettlebell goes straight down, and it should finish, if you have the mobility, it should finish right on the inside of my foot.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we really want that kettlebell going on a vertical path, straight down, straight up. So if you're alternating the curtsy lunges, one side and the other, that's fine. I would prefer it to be all 8 on one side and then all 8 on the other, but alternating works too, okay?
Sorry, what did you just say about
The curtsy
alternate?
lunges,
Uh-huh.
we're saying the curtsy lunges should all be on one side, which I
Oh.
said multiple times. All the curtsy lunges on one side and then all 8 on the other. So it's still
Okay.
16 total, all 8 on one side, all 8 on the other. But if you're alternating them, that's fine too. That's okay. That's all right.
Okay.
You know, it's not like you're not getting the benefits of it. I just like doing all one side because it really fatigues that one side more, you know, so we're getting a little bit more of an effect on those muscles than alternating and giving it some rest. If you finish all 3 sets, hang tight, grab a sip of water, take a look at the next program or the next couplet of 2 workouts, and we'll get those started with those shortly. But if you're still working, take your time. Again, this is no rush. This is power hour. All right, nothing here is for time. We're just here to build some strength, work on some of our weaknesses. Nothing like hot coffee on a hot day. Very nice, Debbie. All right, looks like everybody's on their third set, but you're on your third set. Just keep working. Slowly march through. Again, if you're done, just hang tight. All right, looks like we have some people finishing up the last little bit of curtsy lunges. So we'll let them finish, and then I'm gonna demo the two movements on the next couplet, and then some of the options, because really just depends on how much weight you have. I know some people grabbed some pretty heavy dumbbells or kettlebells from the gym, and then some people have stuff that's just a little bit more moderate weight. So it'll really depend on the weight that you have. That will depend on how we perform these movements. All right, beautiful. Looks okay. We have still some people working, so we're just gonna hang tight just for a couple more seconds. All right, so the next couplet, let's take a look at it. It's an upright row. And when I originally wrote this, it was going to be a single arm upright row. But if you have a really, kind of a heavy kettlebell, that's going to be awkward. So I'm going to demo what a single arm upright row would look like. I'm going to demo what a upright row with both arms would look like. And then I'll demo the alternating single arm bent row. Okay, so you have some options, and once I am done demoing everything, please, if you have questions, ask. Okay. So a single arm upright row. I'm going to stand, feet under my hips, nice upright position. Whether it's a kettlebell or a dumbbell, I'm going to stand in a neutral position, and I'm just going to pull my elbow up into the outside and back down, right? I'm engaging my deltoids, my traps, pulling my elbow high into the outside and lowering it. I don't want to get too much of my torso into it, right? This isn't like a ballistic movement. This isn't like a high pull that we would be using for weightlifting. It can be, but today's exercise isn't, okay? So again, if you're doing single arm, you're just gonna keep that dumbbell on that side of your body that's doing the work, up and back down. Keeping that dumbbell or kettlebell close to your body. If your kettlebell or your dumbbell is heavy, like too heavy for you to properly perform that movement, let's do it, do it with both hands. And it's essentially the same movement. We're just gonna perform both at the same time, right? And if you had a dumbbell might be a little bit awkward if you have a heavy dumbbell, but looks like it can still be done. Again, we don't want a whole lot of hip into it. I don't need a whole lot of hip. It doesn't need to be a ballistic movement. It should be a fairly static movement. All right. So we have our upright row. Then we have 16 alternating single arm bent row. All right. It kind of tells you exactly what it is. It's alternating. So I'm going to be going right arm, left arm, right arm, left arm. One arm at a time, single arm, and it's a bent row, right? So feet are outside of my hips with this one. I'm going to hinge at the hips. Hips stay nice and high. My knees are unlocked. My weight is directly under my shoulders. And I'm just going to perform alternating rows. All right, from the side. All right. I don't want the kettlebell too far out in front of me. It should be more or less in line with my toes. I'm pulling that kettlebell or the dumbbell to the side of my hip. I'm not pulling it to my armpit. So I'm pulling to my hip, down, alternating. If you have a dumbbell, same thing. So we have 8 single arm upright row. If you're using both arms, I would say maybe go, 8 to 12, depending on the weight, okay? But if you're gonna do a single arm, let's make them 8 single arm upright row, each arm, right? So get all 8 on one side, all 8 on one side, and then all 8 on the other side. After that, we're going to do 16 alternating single arm bent row. All right, the first exercise really attacks that upper back and shoulders. The next exercise is more mid back and lats. Okay, are there any questions before we get started? Please ask if you guys have some. And maybe some of this stuff doesn't make any sense. Everybody's okay? All right, beautiful. All right, beautiful. All right, so 3 sets, 8 single arm upright row, all 8 on one side, and then 8 on the other, and then 16 alternating single arm bent row. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Try to stay nice and tall. Don't shrug. Don't feel like you have to shrug over, right? I don't want to lean into it. Just pull it as high as you can. If you can only pull it to about your chest or nipple line, that's fine, right? Elbow high into the outside. And then 16 alternating bent row. Keeping my back flat. With that bent row, it's really important that my back is flat. If I'm rounded, I am really losing the ability to pull. I need my back as flat as possible. I'm using these erector muscles to keep me in a nice, static, stable position. Nice work, Joe. Nice, Alex. Again, if that weight is really heavy, do the upright row with 2 hands if you need to. All right, I see some people on their upright row, they're letting that elbow drop, right? They're not finishing here, right? If you look at your arm and you're pulling, your elbow's not finishing tall, but your elbow is finishing down, right? If you're pulling like this, you're performing the movement wrong, right? You want to finish elbow high. Elbow high, all right? We don't want to come and pull the elbow down as we're pulling up, right? This is not correct. Finish elbow high and back down. Just take a look at your elbow. Is it moving up or is it coming down? All right, make that correction. All right, let's make sure we're nice and tall with those upright rows. Don't look at the floor, look straight ahead. Look straight ahead. All right, have your gaze looking forward. Don't look down at the ground, because that's going to start curving your spine. All right, good adjustments. Looks like everybody's making those good adjustments. Nice, Jenny. That's perfect. Stefano, I could see myself on your TV when I was talking. Very nice. Good form, brother. Very nice, Joel. Good, MJ. Man, it is hot today. As cool as it was this week, it is hot. I am sweating my butt off. If you guys have the opportunity to do this outside, it's great. I mean, you're gonna get a nice, good sweat, get some of that vitamin D. It's a beautiful day. I mean, it's hot, it's muggy, but whatever. If you've been cooped inside all week like I have been, this is perfect. Nice, Debbie. All right, I reposted the programming. I think somebody was saying they couldn't see it. So it should be up. If you can't see it, let me know. Looks like everybody should still be either working on their third set or just about to wrap it up. Just keep working, take your time with it. We got time. After this, we have a little upper body finisher. We got some biceps upon special request. And again, this particular circuit that we're gonna do here at the end, you know, it's kind of hard to program depending on what everybody's weight is. So we're gonna demo what it would look like with doing both arms at the same time or a single arm. If you're still working, take your time, finish. All right, beautiful. Looks like everybody's just about done. If you're not done, that's okay. Keep working. I feel like we got like 1 or 2 people still working. So we'll just give them a couple more seconds to finish up, and then we'll talk about our last little circuit. Again, I programmed it originally to be done with just a single arm, but then I realized some of you people might have something that's going to be a little bit too heavy to curl with one arm. So we'll see. We'll play around with it. You guys let me know. I definitely will need some feedback on this one. All right, looks like everybody's done. So taking a look at the program, it's going to be 30 seconds of max reps bicep curl. All right, and if you have a kettlebell, don't worry. This is going to be done with a kettlebell too. With 2 arms, and I'll demo that. Max reps, I don't know why it says arm. max reps push press, and then 30-second static overhead hold. All right. So let me just demo these, and then we will field some questions. I hope you guys have some questions, because I just want to make sure everybody's doing this correctly, okay? All right, so if you have a kettlebell, and especially if you have a kettlebell that's maybe a little too heavy to curl with one arm, holding your kettlebell upside down, right? Blocking those elbows into your side, we can get a bicep curl with a single kettlebell. All right. If you have the luxury of having 2 dumbbells, excellent. You can do 2 dumbbells, right? Obviously, you could sit there and do 2 dumbbells doing bicep curls. All right. If you have a single heavy dumbbell, just grab it from both sides. And we're going to do as many reps as we can get in those 30 seconds. All right. When we're doing these curls, right, we want those arms glued to our side, the elbow glued to our side, and for this to be as static as possible. So I'm not going to get a lot out of it if I'm getting a lot of hip thrust into my curls, right? So I'm going to get as many curls in 30 seconds as I can get from here. Again, if you have 2 dumbbells, great. Do 2 dumbbell push presses. But if you have a single heavy kettlebell, let's just get a 2-handed kettlebell push press. All right. And then finally, a 30-second static hold. Right. I don't know if you guys can see me. I'm just holding this overhead, elbows locked out, and we're going to hold that for 30 seconds immediately after we do the push presses. All right. So it's going to go 30 seconds of my bicep curl, 30-second push press, and then 30-second static hold. All right, so those are the movements. That's the time frame we're going to work with. What questions do we have? Are there any questions that we have?
What do you do with a dumbbell, like a single dumbbell for the push press?
Is it heavy enough where using it with 2 hands would be awkward? I mean, definitely you can, you know, I don't know if you guys can see me.
Okay, thank you.
Does that work? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Is it 30 seconds and then right into the next 30 seconds?
Yes, and I'll be the timer, okay? But it's gonna be a full 1.5 minutes of work, but it'll be 30 seconds of curls immediately into 30 seconds of push press, immediately into a 30-second static hold. Yeah, that looks perfect, Debbie. Any other questions? And if you have the luxury of having 2 dumbbells, awesome, excellent. You use 2 dumbbells. But if you only have a single instrument, then do that. And Stefano, I feel like it helps to hold it upside down, so you're actually holding like like that. I find it's a little bit easier like that. It may not be for you. That looks like a pretty heavy kettlebell. Any other questions?
For the overhead hold, you have 2 dumbbells. Do you want them like in the hammer position, or do you want them facing forward?
I don't care, to be honest. It can be any way you're holding it, right? You're going to be here, just as long as you're not resting them together, because that's kind of like cheating. But besides that, yeah, doesn't matter. You can have it in this position. You can have it this position. Obviously, not in a squat, because that'd be crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. What else? Nothing. Looks like everybody's set. Makes sense to everybody. If you have a really lightweight, good. That means you get in more reps. If you have a really heavy weight, that's okay. You just have to do less reps. All right. All right. So it's going to be 30 seconds of each. Let's go ahead and get ready. In 3, 2, 1, and go. 30 seconds of bicep curls. You got 10 seconds, you guys. In 3, 2, 1, let's go right into those push press. Get a little dip and drive, get those legs into it. Ten seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's get that weight overhead. Let's hold it. There we go. Hold it. Don't worry, we're going to rest after this. You're more than halfway there, you guys. We got 13 seconds. Keep holding. Keep holding. Keep holding. 7 seconds. Come on. Stay nice and tight. In 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Go ahead and put it down. Rest. Now that we've gotten one round in, does anybody have any questions? Did it go okay? It looked like it went pretty well for everybody, but if you have any questions, let me know. We got another 20 seconds of rest and we're going to get back into it. All right, let's get ready. Go ahead and pick up our weight. We got bicep curls for 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1, work. Almost there. We got 7 seconds. Keep working. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get into that push press. Dip and drive, dip and drive. Get those legs into it. Ten seconds, you guys. Come on, dip and drive. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Get it, Roberto. In 3, 2, 1. Let's get it up there. Hold it. Hold it. Overhead hold. Overhead hold. Come on, Debbie. Keep holding. Keep holding. You got 10 seconds, you guys. And rest. And rest. All right, I know the program said we were going to do this for 2 sets. We're going to do it for 3, though. So we got this one more time. One more time. I know, I reserve the right to make changes. Sorry, Miho. I know. We got 30 more seconds of rest, you guys. Oh. All right, you guys, that was our 60 seconds of rest. We got one more set. One more set. Come on, this is the last 90 seconds of work we're gonna do today. All right, let's pick up our weights. Curls in 3, 2, 1, and work. We got 10 seconds. Come on, keep repping it out. And push press. Dip and drive. Punch that weight to the ceiling. Get those legs into it. Dip and drive. Punch those weights to the ceiling. Let's get as many reps as we can. We got 14 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, and let's hold it overhead. Last 30 seconds of work, you guys. Last 30 seconds of work. Let's get that weight up. Almost there. Keep holding. We got 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Time. Put it down. Good job, you guys. Nice work, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We had a great showing. 23 people for Power Hour. That's not bad.
Woohoo!
All right. Thank you guys so much. Everybody have a wonderful day. If you have an opportunity to get outside something today, get out. Let's get some vitamin D. Move around.
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful out.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, Colin.
Have a nice weekend, guys.
Absolutely.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Colin.
Thank you.
Bye.
Later.
Miho. Thank you, Colin.
You're welcome. Thank you guys. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Oh, is that? Oh, wait, who's that?
Mio, I was just thinking, don't stop the cookies.
Everybody's talking about Miho's cookies. I ain't getting no cookies.
Don't stop
Oh,
the cookies.
yeah.
Whoa.
Hi, Alex.
What's up, Alex?
Hey,
Abby. Hey, is that Sarah?
Talia.
Oh, hey.
Hi, lady. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. You guys have a good day.
Have a
Bye,
good day.
guys.
Hey, Andy.
All right, guys. Yeah.
We'll
See
see
ya.
you guys later. Thank you, Colin.
Thanks,
Thank
Colin.
you guys.
Bye, Heather.
Bye, Heather. Michael.
Bye,
Bye, Heather. Bye, Michael.
Oh, he's so